Good afternoon, warriors. How are you guys doing today? Today, we're going to get into comic book culture, specifically Free Comic Book Day. I myself have never really been one to collect comic books, save for growing up on Archie comics, but those have taken a wildly drastic turn on their own, mainly for the principle that all of the characters' backstories are elaborated over series, universes, and literal decades within the realm of time. And all of that combined together can really chew a massive hole in your wallet. The first Saturday of May every year is one of my favorites because of Free Comic Book Day. Franchises offer various comics throughout their collections to pass out at a varying quantity to multiple comic book stores throughout at least Canada and the United States. It's kind of a neat aspect that Free Comic Book Day is almost like a nexus for geek culture. Franchises rubbing shoulders against one another like Marvel and DC as they usually do, but then you get the weird ones like Scooby-Doo Apocalypse that I got a poster for in last year's Free Comic Book Day haul. Even though we're a little bit past Free Comic Book Day 2018, I still wanted to share with you guys what I decided to pick up, and we can have conversations down in the comments about these properties that may not be seen as the most popular thing in today's culture, but it's the things that we love and that we're passionate about that I want to encourage you guys to spread to the world. If you do enjoy that message and believe in it, consider hitting subscribe and you can check out more videos from me about that very topic. The first two comic books that caught my eye were these issues of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, essentially the source content for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I haven't actually read either of these yet since I wanted to wait until I watched Avengers Infinity War. I wasn't sure if there was going to be any material in here that might have been spoilers for me, so I figured better not take the chance. The next comic book that caught my eye is one of those strange, arbitrary series that you don't necessarily think would be lumped in with the superhero type comic books. I have another issue of Doctor Who. Last year there was an issue that had Christopher Eccleston in it and his portrayal of the Ninth Doctor. This time around, we get Capaldi. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the 13th regeneration is going to shake up the Whovian universe, or Whoniverse, if you will. The next comic book, given that I grew up on Archie comics, should come as no surprise. I got a copy of Riverdale, which has taken the core Archie world that I know and I love and completely turned it upside down and then twisted it around and made it go upside down and backwards. CW has taken a lighthearted universe and turned it into that nitty-gritty teen crime murder story that is very popular nowadays. If they can take that and put it in a comic book, I think they're gonna do all right. The last of the comic books that I was able to pick up this year, since they only let us have 5 comic books instead of last year's 6, is Overwatch. Blizzard's first-person shooter game that finally made me cave and join the Xbox family. A lot of the heroes already have really interesting backstories and lore, but this comic book features 2 in particular. Zarya is one of them, and the prominent villain in this issue is my main, Sombra. I don't see a lot of her getting attention online as I'm doing quick play or I'm in competitive. There's some people who play Sombra in the Overwatch League, which is very helpful for me, so I can actually learn how to use her effectively, and then I can potentially do better in competitive. One aspect of Free Comic Book Day that I really enjoy, at least here in my town, is the fact that everyone is able to take home one free poster. And this year, the one that caught my eye the most is this Marvel's Inhumans Once and Future Kings poster. The reason this caught my attention as opposed to a Thor or an Iron Man or even a Venom is the fact that ABC released a filler miniseries for 8 episodes as they were getting ready to launch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. The basic storyline for the series was that the royal family of Adelan was facing corruption within their empire and had to flee to Hawaii, of all places, to avoid destruction of Earth and their city itself. The royal family is made up of Black Bolt, the king with a voice of pure destruction, his wife Medusa, who can control her hair like snakes, Gorgon, his cousin, and military general, who is super strong and half donkey. His other cousin Karnak, who has the ability to foresee all possible outcomes of any given situation and thereby determine which path is the best course of action to take in order to achieve victory. Medusa's sister Crystal, who has control over the elements. And Maximus, Black Bolt's brother, who, despite being an Inhuman, actually has no powers and leads the mutiny against the rest of his family. The best thing about this character, and I'm gonna butcher his name, is that he is played by Ewan Rahone, who is the despicable, disgusting Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones. A lot of people gave this show a ton of flack. They didn't like what ABC did to divert from the original comic book universe, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought it had a lot of really good action. The character interactions themselves between Inhumans and humans were interesting to watch. The tiny little romances that happened probably could have been left out. I don't think they added a whole lot to the storyline that couldn't have been done in a better way. Not every comic book adaptation into a TV show or Netflix series or even a movie is going to go over 100% perfectly. You just have to work with the cards that you're dealt, and I think ABC did on par with what they had to work with. That's all I have for today's comic book culture free comic book day haul video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button. If you yourself are part of this comic book fandom, or you're like me and you only pick up comic books on Free Comic Book Day, let me know down in the comments what titles are some of your favorite, or what interactions and experiences you've had since you've dove into the comic book world. A lot of the properties that I've seen in movies and television from comic books have been really impactful to me, and I hope that it's been the same way with some of you guys. Heroes like Spider-Man, Thor, Iron Man, even Hulk, they've all had incredibly inspiring aspects to their characters. To be able to dive into those in further detail through comic books, I think that is such a cool experience. And I know that there are a ton of people out there in the world that we can form connections with based off of those properties. If you guys want to check out my latest video, you can do so by clicking the box on the left, or if you want to take a gamble at what YouTube thinks that you will enjoy most out of my content, you can click the box up on the right. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to be notified of all my latest videos. As always, guys, don't be afraid or discouraged to embrace what you are truly passionate about, because you have no idea who in the world you can make an amazing connection with.